If you had to bet on one of these two people, who would you choose? Oliver earns $100,000 a year. Ethan earns $60,000. Most people don't need long to answer. A higher salary sounds like an automatic ticket to a better financial future. For the first few years, that assumption even looks correct. Oliver lives in a modern apartment, drives a luxury SUV, and takes holidays that fill his social media with beaches and rooftop pools. Whenever his paycheck grows, so does his lifestyle. His monthly expenses quietly grow alongside it. A larger apartment, a more expensive car payment, premium subscriptions he barely remembers signing up for. Somehow, every raise seems to disappear before the next one arrives. Ethan's life looks much less exciting from the outside. He rents a smaller place. His car isn't turning heads at traffic lights, but it starts every morning, which, according to Ethan, is a pretty underrated feature. Instead of spending every extra dollar, he made one rule for himself. Every time he got paid, a fixed percentage of his income went straight into investments before he spent anything else. He never increased that percentage because he felt motivated. He increased it whenever his salary increased. That meant every promotion improved two things at once. His lifestyle became a little more comfortable, and his investments became a little larger. At first, the gap between them seemed impossible to close. After all, Oliver earned $40,000 more every single year. But income tells you how much money comes in. It doesn't tell you how much stays. And over the next 20 years, that distinction would become impossible to ignore. 5 years passed. Oliver had received several promotions. His salary climbed from $100,000 to $130,000. From the outside, it looked like everything was going according to plan. The problem was, every raise arrived with an upgrade. The apartment became a house. The SUV became a newer SUV. Weekend dinners turned into expensive habits rather than occasional treats. None of these decisions were unreasonable on their own. That's what makes lifestyle inflation so dangerous. It rarely feels like overspending. It feels like you've earned an upgrade. And to be fair, sometimes you have. The trouble starts when every extra dollar already has a destination before it reaches your bank account. Ethan's salary also increased over those same 5 years. Not by as much. He was now earning around $75,000. Instead of asking, "What can I buy with this raise?" he asked a different question. "How much of this raise will future me appreciate?" His answer was simple. Half of every raise went straight into his investment account. The other half improved his lifestyle. That way, he enjoyed earning more today without sacrificing tomorrow. One habit created a snowball effect. Each year his investments grew for two reasons. He was contributing more, and the money he'd invested years earlier had more time to compound. Oliver's investments grew too, just much more slowly. His higher income wasn't the problem. It was that his spending had learned to keep pace with it. There's an old saying in personal finance. It's not what you earn, it's what you keep. It's repeated so often because it's true. Imagine two buckets. One is filled with more water every month, but it has a hole in the bottom. The other fills more slowly, yet hardly leaks at all. Given enough time, the second bucket catches up. Eventually, it overtakes the first. That's exactly what was beginning to happen. By their mid-40s, Oliver still earned far more than Ethan, but for the first time, Ethan's investment portfolio was larger. And that portfolio was about to start doing something Oliver's salary couldn't. It was beginning to generate money on its own. By the time they reached their early 50s, something unexpected had happened. Oliver was still earning more. In fact, his salary had climbed to nearly $150,000 a year. Ethan was earning around $85,000. If you only looked at their paychecks, Oliver still seemed to be winning comfortably. But paychecks tell you how much you earn this month. They don't tell you how much your money earned while you were asleep. That's where the real difference appeared. Over the years, Ethan had consistently invested a percentage of every paycheck into a diversified S&P 500 index fund. He didn't try to predict the market. He didn't jump in and out whenever the news turned negative. He simply kept investing. Some years the market was down. Some years it reached new highs. His strategy never changed. As those investments grew, they began producing returns of their own. Eventually, a good year in the market added more to Ethan's portfolio than he had personally contributed. That's the moment many investors dream about. Your money starts pulling its own weight. Oliver wasn't broke. Far from it. He had a great career and a comfortable lifestyle. The challenge was that his income still depended almost entirely on him going to work every Monday morning. If he stopped working, the paycheck stopped too. Ethan's investments created a second engine. It wasn't guaranteed income, and markets certainly had their ups and downs, but over long periods, his portfolio had the opportunity to grow without him working extra hours. That's a very different kind of wealth. A financial planner once explained it with a simple sentence. Your salary pays today's bills. Your investments help pay tomorrow's. That idea changed the way Ethan viewed every dollar he invested. He wasn't just buying shares. He was buying future income. Meanwhile, Oliver noticed something that surprised him. Despite earning nearly twice as much for most of his career, he often felt just as dependent on his next paycheck as he had 20 years earlier. His lifestyle had expanded alongside his income. Ethan's investments had expanded instead. Both men worked hard. Only one had quietly built an asset that kept working after the workday ended. And as retirement drew closer, that difference became impossible to ignore. When Oliver and Ethan turned 60, they both met for lunch. It had become a yearly tradition. The conversation eventually drifted toward retirement. Oliver admitted something he hadn't expected to say. I still need to work a few more years. It wasn't because he had made reckless financial decisions. He had earned an excellent living. He owned a beautiful home. He had enjoyed experiences that many people only dream about. The problem was simple. His lifestyle had always been built around his salary. Replacing that salary would require a very large retirement portfolio. Ethan looked at things differently. His income had never been as impressive. But every year, a larger share of his future had been funded by investments instead of future paychecks. After decades of consistent investing, his portfolio had grown to the point where it could support a significant portion of his living expenses. He wasn't becoming wealthy overnight. He had simply given compound growth enough time to work. That's an important distinction. Many people believe retirement is about reaching a certain age. In reality, it's about reaching a financial position where working becomes a choice rather than a necessity. For Oliver, that number was still a little further away. For Ethan, it had quietly arrived years earlier. Neither outcome was decided by their salaries. It was decided by thousands of small financial decisions that seemed almost insignificant at the time. Whether to upgrade the car, whether to invest the bonus, whether to increase spending after a raise, whether to let lifestyle grow as quickly as income. One decision rarely changes your future. Hundreds of them do. That's why comparing salaries can be misleading. A person earning $150,000 can still feel financially stretched if their spending grows just as quickly. Someone earning $80,000 can build substantial wealth if they consistently invest a meaningful percentage of their income. The number on your paycheck matters, but your saving rate often matters even more. Imagine two people. One saves 5% of everything they earn. The other saves 25%. Even if the first person has the higher salary, the second is often building wealth at a much faster pace because a greater share of every paycheck is buying future freedom instead of today's lifestyle. That's the lesson Oliver wished he had understood much earlier. Every raise isn't just an opportunity to spend more. It's an opportunity to own more. More investments, more financial security, more choices later in life. By the end of their careers, Oliver had earned well over $1 million more than Ethan. Yet, Ethan reached retirement first, not because he found a secret investment, not because he took extraordinary risks, and not because he was lucky. He simply understood something that most people don't. Income creates opportunity. Habits determine the outcome. So if there's one lesson to take away from this story, let it be this. Don't judge your financial future by the size of your paycheck. Judge it by the gap between what you earn and what you keep. Because wealth isn't built the day you receive a raise. It's built every time you decide that part of today's income deserves to become tomorrow's freedom. And over the course of a lifetime, that decision can be worth far more than an extra $40,000 a year.